Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Yaya's Heart Tarot. Today I felt called to provide some readings to connect you with departed loved ones. I'm going to do 3 readings, and for each reading I've chosen a charm as well as an oracle card. So you can choose whichever group you feel most called to. In the readings, we will address who it is that's coming through for you, how you're related to them, and a question that you might have for them and their answer for you, as well as anything else that they might want to let you know. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. For group 1, the charm that I selected is this heart. And the card that came out was Mischief. So group 1 is the heart and Mischief. Group 2, the charm that was selected is this little owl. And the card that was selected is Parched. Parched. The owl and Parched is group 2. Group 3, the charm is a dragon. And the card is Fury. Dragon and Fury for group 3. The charms and the cards were chosen randomly, by the way. Just stuck my hand in the bag and pulled out the charms and shuffled until the cards came out. So group 1, heart and Mischief. Group 2, owl and Parched. And group 3, dragon and Fury. So select the group that calls to you or multiple groups, and I will see you at your reading. Okay, group 1, this is your reading. Heart and Mischief was the cards and the charm. Heart and Mischief card. I'm kind of feeling this out, doing this just by the seat of my pants. I'm going to use both tarot and oracle cards for these readings. I tried that with my last Lionsgate readings, and I really liked what came out from that. So I think I'm going to try using that same format. I have a cheat sheet over here for the spread that I have. Actually, this is a spread that I created a while back, and I think I may change it a little bit, but we're going to just see how this works. So hopefully something useful will come out of it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get all of the cards initially before I actually address any of them, and we can get some clarification as we're going along. So that is what we will do. So we've got oracle cards here. We're going to get tarot cards to go along with them. Okay, we'll start with this. The first position here, the query that we have is who is it that's coming through for you? And what we got was for the Oracle card, Divine Feminine Energy. And for the Tarot card, we got the Two of Coins in reverse. Two of Coins in reverse. So this individual was a woman or someone who had a strong feminine energy about them. And they were someone who tried to help you keep your life in balance. I feel like they may not have always been very successful at that, but it wasn't because they didn't try. It may have been just because your life was often out of balance. But this is someone who, a mother figure, an aunt, a sister. I'm feeling more of a motherly energy though than like a sister, but it could have been, or it could have been just a woman in your life, or as I mentioned, a feminine energy, regardless of gender, who was always trying to help you kind of keep your life in order. And when things got out of balance, they were always there to kind of support you, point the way for you, help you figure out how to get things back on track. And so for the second position, this represents your relationship with this individual. And the cards that we got were Divine Timing, Trust the Universe, and the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups here is giving me a very strong family vibe. And Divine Timing leads me to believe that I'm getting a feeling that this was perhaps a mother or a grandmother, and that you came into their life at an unexpected time. So it could be your parent and your birth was not something that was planned for. You may have greatly older siblings, and your parents may have thought they were done having kids, and then along you came. Or perhaps if this is a grandparent or an aunt, there may have been a circumstance that led you to be under their care suddenly. Or this may have been someone that you were not aware of their existence for a while. It could be a grandparent, or perhaps you were adopted and didn't know your birth parents. And so this was a relationship that wasn't always there, but it was revealed to you at a time when it was needed in your life. So, but it wasn't something that was always there for you, or at least it wasn't something that you were aware of that was always there for you. And let's see, the third position here is your question for your departed loved one. And the cards that we got here are I Love You, or Ich liebe dich, and Daughter of Swords. Daughter of Swords. So the question that you have for this individual, and I think it's related to you coming into their life at a later time or at an unexpected time, is you want to know if they loved you as a daughter, if they loved you unconditionally, if they welcomed you in as their own child, or loved you as though you were that child to them. You're wanting to know if they thought of you as their daughter or as their son, but as their true offspring. Did they love you like that? Because I feel like sometimes you felt like you were perhaps an imposition to them, um, because they didn't expect to have a child. And so sometimes you doubted that they did love you or want you. Um, the reply that we get from them, we got the oracle card is lyrics, and the tarot card is the Sultan, which is the Emperor. So I'm hearing the word lip service. This individual may have made you feel like they were just giving lip service to the fact that they cared for you, that they did love you. Um, they, at times, they understood or they realized that that's the way that you felt like um, they were just going through the motions, or they were just saying that they loved you, but there was really nothing behind it. They realize that you felt that way. They were, how do I say this? They weren't sure how to be a parent, um, or the parent that you needed. Again, there's going back to this energy, this initial energy of them trying to keep your life in balance. So even if they were your natural born child, or you were their natural born child, sorry, it could be that they just, if you had other siblings, those other siblings may have been easier to raise. You may have been that black sheep. You may have been a little bit wild, and so they may not have known how to deal with you, and that may have made you feel like they didn't love you as much as maybe your siblings, or they didn't love you as their true child. Um, they they knew that. They knew that sometimes you felt like they were just there because they were supposed to be there. They were just saying the right things. That's what you thought sometimes, and they knew you thought that. But if you look at this card here, this sun that's in the background, this absolutely bright, bright sun, um, they're letting you know that even though it was a difficult relationship, there's two rams here, a ram on either side. So there may have been times that you were stubborn with each other. There may have been times that you butted heads, but they always, always loved you. They always felt like you were a light that was shining in their life. Um, and I feel like with the rose in this picture that's losing a couple of petals, sometimes they regretted not being able to show you that. Um, but it was kind of a difficult relationship that the two of you had. Um, but regardless, even though sometimes it didn't bring out the best in them, they still loved you very, very much. And they just weren't quite sure how to interact all the time with you. But they did the best that they could, and even in those times where they felt like they may have been butting heads with you, or you felt like you may have been butting heads with them, they still loved you very, very much. So something that your loved ones want you to know, we got dreams in the astral plane and Ace of Swords. So, what this loved one is saying to you is that they visit you in your dreams. So, if you have dreams that remind you of this individual, or that perhaps seem to be giving you advice or trying to give you guidance or help you balance something that has been troubling you, or that you're uncertain about, if you come to a place in your life where you feel like you need this individual and you wish that you had some sort of guidance, look to your dreams. They are sending you messages in their dreams, and they want you to know that. So when you are thinking about your dreams or trying to interpret what they mean, think about this individual and kind of who they were to you, and how the two of you interacted, and that might help you decode some of the messages that they may be sending to you. But they are actually probably sending you very clear messages in your dreams, the Ace of Swords. And so here on this one with the dream catcher, they just want you to be aware of that so that you can catch the wisdom that comes through in your dreams. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that this helped you. I hope this connection resonated with you. If it did, feel free to tell me in the comments. If it didn't, you might want to choose one of the other groups. This might just not be your reading. So thanks, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Hi, Group 2. This is your reading. The owl, and the card is Parched. I am doing this a little differently than I normally do. On my Lionsgate reading, I actually used both Oracle and Tarot cards, and I like the way that turned out, so I'm going to do that with this as well. Also, I'm going to get cards for all of the positions ahead of time at the beginning, and then we'll go through each one and possibly do some clarification if necessary as we go through that. So I'm going to go ahead and start out the reading. Also, I have a cheat sheet up here that I'm using. This is a spread that I wrote up some time ago, and so I'm just referring to this if I need to. So if you see me look over there, that's why. So let's go ahead and get all the cards here. Do an oracle card and a tarot card for each position initially, and then we'll see if we need more cards after that. Okay, so the first position is who is coming through for you, and the cards that we got are Love Letter and the Hierophant. Love Letter and the Hierophant. So this is a very high level commitment. Someone who very much loved you. The fact that this is a yellow mailbox, and also we have just a really strong energetic feel to this card. This is someone who was very, very gregarious, powerful. They could command a crowd. They could take control of a room. They were someone who walked in and everybody felt their presence. They were playful. They were outgoing. And I feel like you were, I'm hearing, lucky to be the one that they chose for their love, for their soulmate. And because you were soulmates, they didn't necessarily choose you. And that's not saying that you were lucky that you were the one that they chose does not mean that it's not that is the reality of it. That's the way other people looked at you, because you were with this individual. And so a lot of other people of the same gender as you who wanted to be with this individual often thought that you were lucky that he chose you. But in reality, it wasn't a choice. You two were destined to be together. You were soulmates. And in fact, down here in a different position, we have twin flames. So you two were beyond soulmates. You were twin flames. Which in some instances might mean that you had a difficult time. Um, Sometimes twin flame energy is tricky, is difficult, is really hard. And I'm not saying that that was the case for you guys. Um, but let's move on. So that's who's coming through for you. This powerful, outgoing, bold individual who was your twin flame. Um, in the second position, how they were related to you or your relationship with them, we got the Three of Wands and Stillness. And both of these cards are speaking of taking a pause. I don't know if you can see, but there's a silhouette of an individual here who is just sitting and looking at the moon. And this individual it appears again to be night, and they're just looking off into the distance and just kind of taking in what's out there. It's an energy. I'm feeling just a really strong energy of wanting to know more of what's out there. Really, really stopping and just almost receiving messages, to getting downloads from the universe, and having a feeling of something that's very expansive, that's unknowable, but you want to know. So I feel as though the two of you went on amazing adventures together. I feel like you are both tremendous seekers of higher knowledge, of higher wisdom. Yeah, I just see the two of you just going on these amazing adventures together. And always being open to whatever the universe was going to show you. So your query or concern of them, and this is intriguing, you got the Ace of Wands, and this card, I just said that you two were always open to whatever the universe was going to show you. And this card here obviously shows a very open third eye. And then the other card that we got is the Yin Yang card. And my first impression of this is an eye with a flame here. Here we've got the third eye with the flame. So your question to this loved one who's passed is, did they find the answers to these bigger questions? You want to know, do they know the answers now that they passed on? So that's your question to them. Their reply, we've got the Nine of Cups and summer relaxation. I guess it appears to me that their reply is yes, very much so. They are feeling the joy of what you were both seeking. And this summer relaxation, they are saying that you don't have to push to get to the answers. That the answers are within you, and they always have been within you, and so you don't have to worry about them coming to you. I feel like maybe there was a sense when you two were on your adventures or going on quests, that they were more of a quest oftentimes to you. You wanted to find the answers. You wanted to hear the universe speak to you. Um, and so your loved one who's passed over, with this summer relaxation, and this card with this just amazingly joyous individual there. Um, and summer in the medicine wheel, the south direction, which represents summer, is a time of great passion and creativity, and it's just a time of great warmth and love, um, but love in a very young and passionate sense. And so your loved one is saying that if you go within yourself and you begin and you learn to feel that passion, or you feed that passion, the things that you are passionate about, the things that make you feel creative and rewarded, that is where you can begin to feel this amazing sense of joy and bliss, um, that they have found on the other side, and that is available to us here, but only generally in a smaller way. We generally don't have access to unbridled joy and bliss, but it is within us. We are connected to, and here, if you can see this in this card, she's connected to all of these cups, this emotion with light. So, so your loved one is saying that yes, they have moved into this light realm where they do feel and understand the messages that you were seeking when you were here, when they were here with you, but that it's within us already. We just don't quite know how to access it yet. So they're saying, just relax into whatever it is that makes you feel passionate and creative, and trust your intuition, and you will be able to feel this bliss and these answers that you're looking for, because they're connected to you. They are within you, and you are connected to all of this through the web of the universe. So the final message that we want to get is something that they want you to know, and this is absolutely beautiful. It's the Ten of Cups and the Twin Flame card. So this is just a confirmation that the two of you are absolutely meant to be. It's the ultimate happiness to be connected. They're saying that it is their ultimate happiness. It is this place of bliss. They've gone from the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups now, with the full understanding of what it means to be twin flames with you. So that's what they want you to know, that you are the other half of this for them. And even though they may not have been able to say that or fully express that when they were here, they really want you to understand this now, that this is the strength of the relationship. Now that they are in this other realm where they can feel this bliss, this endless joy, they realize that is connected from them to you, and that you are two parts of the whole thing, and that they can feel this now. They can feel that much more strongly now than they ever could before, and they've come to understand it. They've understood it in a much fuller way. I don't know how well the colors come across here, but all of these bowls, or all of these cups, are they create the colors of the rainbow. So this is a full spectrum understanding that they have come to, of the relationship between the two of you. Twin Flames 1111, that of course will be a message that they'll be sending to you. And they're saying that the Ten of Cups is the highest numerical card in the cups. suit in any of the suits, the minor arcana, but they have actually progressed from the 10 to the 11, so they've moved beyond even the understanding, and the feeling that they have of the relationship between the two of you has moved beyond this material realm, from 10, which is the highest of the minor arcana, the highest of the material realm. They've moved into this place of 11. So the connection is even stronger than we can possibly realize here, and they want you to know that. So group 2, that's what I have for you. I'm not sure how the charm and the card relate, except that perhaps you're feeling parched now that they're gone from this realm, but they want you to have a higher understanding. The owl is esoteric wisdom, so they're giving you a higher understanding of the relationship, so that hopefully you can find some peace within that for yourself. So group 2, I hope that this helped. That's what I have for you. Thank you. Hi group 3, this is your reading, the Dragon and the Fury card. So I have been doing this a little differently than I used to do it. My Lionsgate reading, I used both Oracle and Tarot cards, and I liked the way that turned out, so I'm going to continue to do that, at least for now. And I'm going to go ahead and get all of the positions initially before we start to interpret the reading. And if we need to do any clarification, we will. I'm going to get one Oracle card and one Tarot card for each position, and then we'll talk. So that's what we're going to do to start with here. Also, I have my cheat sheet up here. This is a spread that I wrote some time ago, and I haven't used it for a while. So if need be, I am going to take a look at what I'm drawing for here. So let's go ahead here. Get tarot cards here to go with this. Okay. Okay, so for the first position, we want to know who it is that's coming through for you. So for the Oracle card, we got Autumn, Sow and Reap. And then for the Tarot card, we got Son of Cups. So I'm feeling as though this was someone who was older than you, and they were perhaps kind of a mentor for you. And if not a mentor, then they were someone who passed along their wisdom to you. You were I feel like I'm getting a picture of the relationship that you guys had. You were young, you were inquisitive, you were exuberant and bubbly, and this individual was calm and kind and loving, and you had a million questions for them, and they were always very patient with you, and would answer whatever you had questions about. I feel as though this individual was considerably older than you, and I'm basing that on this pumpkin right here with all of the boils and bobbles and blisters, and it just looks like, I don't know, it's looking really really old. Um, and then here in the Son of Cups, this individual seems quite young and just starting out on their journey. So this was definitely a relationship that was, there was a great age difference between the two of you. And this individual was, they were just very wise and very kind. Um, so the next position that we have is, how were you related? How were they related to you? How were you related to them? And the cards that we got is, a doll, which is the Justice card, and then we got Spring, Second Chances. So again, I'm feeling as though, there is a discrepancy here, in that, you, the Spring card here, were very young, naive, um, but inquisitive and open and thirsting for knowledge. And they were someone who, was very wise, and they were very, what's the word that I want? They were very metered. They were very, balanced in their replies to you. They were very thoughtful in their actions and their words that they spoke, whereas you were much more impulsive and adventurous and excitable. And so again, just getting a very strong picture of a wise elder, and an enthusiastic young charge that, went to them, on numerous occasions. You trusted this individual. And you were almost too young to understand, perhaps, that it was trust, but you knew you could go to this individual. Um, it's like when there was something that excited you, but you didn't know enough about it. This was the person that you sought out to tell them about it, because you were excited, and they would listen to you, and then they would help you. And if you had questions, they would always answer your questions. They never got frustrated with you. They were never impatient. So that's who this individual was. This is how you were. The two of you were related. I don't know if there was an actual blood relationship here. It could be, this could be a grandparent, a great grandparent. Um, it could have just been like an elderly neighbor. But it was someone that you always excitedly, sought them out when there was something that you were, some adventure that you were excited about, or some new information that you'd received. This bridge, I don't know if you can see this. There's an energetic bridge between the two of you, and you were quick to follow that bridge to them whenever you had high energy, and you wanted to share it with someone. You always followed that energy, um, took that energy, brought it to this individual. And um, the next position that we have is what is your query or concern for this individual? What do you want to know from them, or about them? And the cards that we got, the oracle card is unconditional love and acceptance, and the tarot card that we got is the Eight of Staffs, or the Eight of Wands. So I'm feeling as though I'm feeling as though you want to know how they put up with you. Um, like you're just, now that you've gotten older and thought back on the relationship, you can't believe how patient they were with you, and how much they made you feel loved. And you're just wondering, how did they do it? How did they accomplish that? You may have your own children now, perhaps, um, who test your limits, and maybe you want some advice on how to be as patient as this loving individual always was for you. They always showed you unconditional love and acceptance, um, no matter how much energy you thrust upon them. They always stayed calm and they always were there for you. So I feel like you are wanting to know, and I'm really getting a picture of, now that you have gotten older and you have your own challenges with perhaps little ones, you want to know how they did it, how they were always there for you. So the cards that we're getting in reply is the three of staffs, or the three of wands, and summer and relaxation. So they're speaking here of just being patient and feeling the warmth that's coming from the little individuals that are maybe testing your patience. But the three of staffs here, I'm getting the feeling that this particular card is talking about really making an effort to see through the young one's eyes, to see their vision, to see the adventure and the excitement that lies out here. This may be an elder who is removed from this, from these ships back here that are going to or coming back from, whatever the case may be. But this elder is stepping back and really thinking about the potential of what this means, what these ships mean, whether they're going somewhere or whether they're coming back. This elder wants to know what they might find or what they're bringing back. And so the cards here, the reply from your departed loved one is just that, while you're trying to find this place of relaxation inside of you, and the summer could refer to, and this is another part of it too, a sense of passion, a sense of creativity and wonder, and just this deep appreciation for the fire in the belly of these children. But your loved one is saying, always try and remove yourself from the excitement, from the energy that the little one is bringing to you, but recenter yourself in a place where you can see the excitement and can envision what the excitement might be, or have some anticipation, or just help yourself to get into that place where you have a bit of wonder surrounding the situation, but you're somewhat removed from it. You're not going on this voyage, but you will know what they come back with or what their adventures have been at some point. And so you have sort of a warmth, and maybe a little bit of, it's not excitement so much, it's just curiosity. But in a sense that you are safe and comfortable where you are now, but that it will provide some creativity, something new in your life when this energy comes back into your life and reveals what it's seen and what it's brought. So your loved one is saying that to be able to endure this frantic, excited energy, remove yourself from it a bit, but remember that feeling of curiosity that goes along with this, and so be able to understand that the the people that were involved in this adventure were very, very excited and very invested, and expending a lot of energy. And you don't have to expend that energy, but you can still share in what they find, and their excitement when they come back. So, so your loved one is saying, try and stay in that energy. Um, And then the final position is, what does your loved one want you to know? And we have the oracle card says ideals and autonomy. And the tarot card is the Two of Swords. And I'm intrigued that both of these cards, their eyes are closed. Their eyes are closed. And so I believe that your loved one is saying that there's a lot more to come that you don't yet know. And this may be with regard to dealing with these young people. It may be. Let's get some more clarification on that, because I'm not just sure what it is that they are saying that is coming for you. I think that they're definitely saying that you haven't seen all that there is to see yet. And again, that could be with regard to these youngsters. They may just be, saying keep your heart open, because there's so much more to come. Spirit, provide us a little clarity here for this final position for the Two of Swords and ideals and autonomy. Yeah, we got the Chariot. And so, again, like I said, your loved one is telling you there's a lot more to come that you don't yet see. And so we also got the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups. So eights, to my thinking, are about foundation. And also they can be, it's kind of beyond foundation. I mean, fours to me are about foundation. You've got four corners, you've got a solid foundation. But eights are almost going beyond a solid foundation to being almost too much. They are almost too rigid. And so the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Swords is talks about being trapped within your own thoughts, not trusting your thoughts, or not being able to open up or get out of your own head. And the Eight of Cups speaks about walking away from like a situation that's perhaps too emotional to deal with, being overwhelmed, and needing to step away from that. So I feel like your loved one here is talking about, ideals and autonomy here. Oftentimes when we are young, before we have entered a particular stage of our life, we have ideals about how things should go, how things are going to go, what our plans are for certain things, our ideas of what's right and what's wrong. And this comes with a certain amount of autonomy. It's brought about from a certain amount of autonomy. Because when we are not connected to a particular situation, when we're autonomous within ourselves, we are able to create these perfect pictures of how we're going to do things and how things are going to work out and how they're going to be. But then we are actually presented with the actual situation, the Two of Swords here, and we have to make a decision, but sometimes that decision isn't even really up to us. But the decision oftentimes comes down to, do we want to stick to these ideals that we have created in our mind, the Eight of Swords here, Or do we want to release that ideal and go with the actuality of the situation, which may be a lot more emotional and a lot less planned out? So the Eight of Cups here. Um, so I think your loved one is telling you that while it is important to have sort of a framework or an idea of what we want going forward and what's important to us, it is very much not ideal, not ideal to become too rigid within this framework that we have created, because there is, um, because until we've actually been in a particular situation, and in particular, having little ones who depend on us, children who are um, up to a certain point helpless, basically. And even beyond when they are purely helpless, they still rely heavily on us for a very long time. And so your loved one is saying that there is so much more to come that you're not able to see yet because you haven't been there. It's not a detraction from who you are or what you believe or what you want, but it's just basically a statement that until you've actually walked a mile in their shoes, um, they being someone who maybe has these children, or has been through this situation, until you've been in the situation yourself, um, don't get caught up in your ideas of what it's going to be like, because when the reality of it comes around, um, you kind of have to throw out the playbook sometimes and just go with what feels right and what actually will work. But regardless of which way you choose to go, things are going to move forward. They're never going to stop. You're never going to have the opportunity just to stop and go back. You've got the two choices here, but both are going to pull to bring you forward. So they're always going to be there. Um, these two possibilities, these two roads, this decision between two options is always going to be there, and it's always going to continue moving forward. So your loved one, I think, is just saying to you to not get too caught up in the ideals that you have about the situation, because the reality of it when it actually does happen might be very different. And so if you're tied up and can't get out of what you had planned, if you can't um, be flexible with this situation, it's going to create a lot more heartache, a lot more hardship than if you are able to just roll with the punches, essentially. So, that I think is what your loved one wants you to know. And obviously, if they were this individual who you ran to whenever you needed counseling or support or whatever, and they were always patient and kind and loving to you, obviously they know um, that to have this openness, this unconditional love and acceptance, no matter what situation presents itself, whether this is what they had planned for or not. Um, I think they came to a place to understand that to plan for any of this was folly. Um, just to be open and to be loving, and to roll with whatever came their way, um, to maybe step back from the actual participation in the emotion, but still um, participate in the excitement, or the joy of a situation, rather than trying to create or push the situation to be what you wanted it to be or go in a direction that you had hoped for. Um, so they obviously learned this elder that was someone that you really loved and trusted. They obviously learned that they probably went through a period in their lives when they had, the perfect scenario worked out. This is how things are going to be when I have kids, and my children are going to know this, and I'm going to teach them that, and they won't get to do this because it could harm them. And, that probably all went out the window when they actually became this parent and had these children. So that's kind of what they want you to. They're trying to bring this across in a gentle way because they don't want you to be at odds with these little ones that you're maybe having to deal with now. So that's the message that your loved ones have, that your loved one has for you. Um, I think the dragon and the fury card here. Um, the dragon is strong but still able to fly, even though they're huge and they are powerful, but they're still able to float and fly with the situation. So when the sound and the fury is going on around you, um, rise above it, um, but still be there, be strong and powerful and supportive. So that's what I have for you, Group 3. I hope that it was helpful, and thank you so much for joining me.